again, everybody, and welcome to Doing Life in Retirement. We got a new name, but we got the same expert who is going to tell us everything you need to know, and especially for our readers, a number of people are going into retirement or getting ready for retirement, and who better than Todd Bauman to give us answers to it.
Thank you, Dan.
Todd, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted to change the name because our motto is we do retirement so you can do life. Right. And I thought the name of the show should be Doing Life in Retirement.
Fantastic. And well, with that in mind, with people getting ready to go into retirement, where do you start? You know, it's one thing to say, I'm going to retire in 2010 or, down the road or 2025 and then you just quit. And then what do you do?
I know, right?
And how do you prepare for it? And there's a whole bunch of things going with it. It's not as easy as you think.
Yeah, it's like building a house, Dan, meaning you don't just start building a house and pour cement and put some wood up and plumbing and electrical and all that. You need to have plans in place. And so you want to have a proper financial plan, a proper income plan, tax plan. You want to look at healthcare, and you also want to look at your estate planning. But without having those plans in place just yet, there's some other things. I came up with a list.
There you go.
Right. Because I want to make sure I didn't forget anything. But I think one of the first things you should think about is, what is your retirement life going to look like? And what are those expenses? So we meet a lot of people, Dan, who don't know what their monthly expenses are. And fortunately, we've been doing this for 30 years. So if you don't know what your monthly expenses are, within a few questions, we probably have a really good idea within $100 of what your monthly expenses are going to look like. So we want to figure out your base expenses on what does it take to run the Dan household, right? So mortgage or no mortgage, taxes, utilities, insurance, lunch, with your good buddy Bill, and so, and then over on top of that, what else do you want to do? Travel, golf, wine, smoking cigars, whatever your wish list stuff is. So you want to identify your expenses first, and then we need to look at the costs for those, meaning, what is that going to take, and then put inflationary concerns on there as well.
I mean, it really is a process to figure out. It's not just I quit on Friday and what do I do on Monday?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you need to be prepared because you really only want to have one shot at retirement. You don't want to have to go back to work if you don't have to. So when we determine what your expenses are, then we got to look at your income. Where's your income going to come from? Right. And so that would be Social Security. Right. So we need to look at your Social Security. Have you turned it on now, or are you waiting to turn on Social Security? Believe it or not, we meet a lot of people who have been told to defer their Social Security until down the road, right? And so the earliest you can turn it on is 62, or to get 100% of your benefits is your full retirement age, which is called FRA, and that all determines on when you were born, what year you were born. Or you can wait till 70 to turn it on, and you get a bonus for waiting. But we're running the numbers. And I mean, we think it makes sense for most people, not everyone, but most people to turn it on sooner than later.
Really?
Well, yeah, because a lot of people we're meeting are taking money from their investments, right? Whereas if we turn on Social Security now, it's about a 10 to a 14-year break even, compared to waiting. And then we can leave your investments alone and grow those while you're taking Social Security so you have more liquidity down the road.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then when we're doing all that, then we got to look at taxes too. So that was number 3 on my list.
Okay, go ahead.
Making sure we know where you're at tax-wise. Can we keep you in a 12% bracket? Are you having to take out more, which would push you into a 22% bracket or so forth? So that's part of the tax planning that we do as well, right?
It seems to be, again, it's a lot more complicated than you ever imagined. And yet, go ahead, go through the tax tips. I come into you and say, guess what? I'm turning 68 on August, and September 1, I'm gone. Labor Day, I'm finished. I'm gone. Okay, now what do I do?
Turn on Social Security.
Okay.
Yeah, turn it on, right? Get it going because you're already past your FRA. The latest FRA is 67. I probably would have told you to turn it on 67 had I known you.
Right.
Because if you turn on Social Security before your FRA, right, and you're still working,
right,
the government's going to penalize you. They're going to say, no,
you can't do that. Yeah.
Well, you can, but they're going to penalize your Social Security benefits, right? So you're only allowed to make like around $26,000 a year of income. And then everything over that, they claw back $1 of Social Security earned for every $2 over that threshold amount.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a big disincentive to don't take Social Security and still work under your FRA. But once you hit your FRA, yeah, I mean, probably go ahead and take it.
Right.
More than likely, if you were still working 1 year later, we've got to run the numbers and look at the math on how much taxes you're paying on all of this income. But as soon as you turn 68, you quit work, Dan, take Social Security.
That's it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Get it going now, right away. And then let's look at your investments. Like, what do you have in IRAs, Roths, taxable account, and let's build a proper income plan. Ladies and gentlemen, so many people we meet don't have an income plan. They just take money from their investments with no rhyme or reason.
Correct.
Oh, hey, I've got this account. Let's take $300 a month out of this account because I want more income. Well, why did you take $300? What's the tax ramifications looking like on that? How is the stock market going to affect that $300 or interest rates going to affect it, right? So don't wing it, Dan. Have a plan for all this stuff.
You know, and no matter what plan you have, over the course of last couple of weeks, you're hearing news about Social Security is going down the tubes. They're going to take it away. Stock market's now in the toilet. It's never going to come back up. There's a great deal of fear. How do you deal with people who are nervous about it?
I am hearing I'm losing my Social Security benefits for the last 3 weeks in a row, almost on a daily basis, right? Yeah. And I'm calling hogwash. They're not taking Social Security away. I don't care what you're reading online. That's all BS, right? First of all, the House of Representatives just passed a bill to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. Okay. It's supposed to go to the Senate. Looks like Speaker Johnson's got the votes to approve it, and then Trump will pass the bill saying no more taxes on Social Security benefits, which is awesome because when Franklin Delano Roosevelt first created Social Security, it was never supposed to be taxed. Okay. It was supposed to be tax-free income to us. Well, unfortunately, the government writes the law in chalk. And they erase the chalkboard, right? And now it's taxable income. So too many people in America rely upon Social Security. I believe what they're talking about is taking away Social Security from the people who shouldn't be getting it, like the 200-year-old people, the 300-year people or whatever, right? So I would not worry about that. You're going to be fine on Social Security.
Okay. And though people say, well, you know, I have money in stocks. That's going down. And now with tariffs, my stock is going to be worth zero in about 3 weeks. You know, when you listen to all the fears, how do you counter it? How do you deal with it? Because people come to you and fear is real. I mean, I want you to understand it.
100%.
You know that.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, especially scary because you've worked your whole life, right? And you got this paycheck guaranteed coming in, and now you retire and there's no more paycheck. So you've got to learn how to create the paycheck, and you're going to do that through a pension, possibly if your previous employer offered you a pension. Most people don't have pensions anymore. Social Security benefits, and then the rest is going to come from your investment portfolio, Dan. And so we want to look at your portfolio, and more than likely when you were working, you were way more aggressive then because you had time on your hands before you were actually going to retire. So normally when you get into retirement, you want to tone down the portfolio, have some safe money, have some risk money, build an income plan from that, make it last till you're 100. We use eMoney, which is offered through Fidelity. We do a Monte Carlo testing. It's 1,000 different scenarios on, is your income going to last you, right? And so that's how we build our income plans for our clients.
Oh, you know, and with all that in mind, the other tips you have, what else can you throw in there on that sheet there?
Let's see.
Go ahead, man. We got all day.
Making sure that you have proper beneficiaries set up on your investments when you pass away. So most people that we meet with only have a primary beneficiary on their accounts, like IRAs, Dan. Those do not go through probate if you have the right beneficiaries on there. So you have a primary and you have a contingent, but most people only have a primary beneficiary. Almost everybody that we meet with does not have a contingent beneficiary.
No secondary.
Yeah. And so why that's a problem, Dan, is let's say you and I are married. I'm your primary. You're my primary. I die. You get my IRA.
Right.
But I was your primary, and then you die X amount of years down the road. There's no one to get your IRA because I was your primary and I'm gone.
Right.
So you want to have a contingent beneficiary in place that would get them, that would step up to the primary if I died first.
And something that is relatively simple can be a major problem.
Yeah, and that's why we offer complimentary consultations, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress to you, for 30 years I've been hearing, we're all set, right? Yeah, you're probably not, because for 30 years I see it day in and day out. And so we offer complimentary consultations that have people come on in. We'll spend an hour to an hour and a half with you. We go through a whole questionnaire. We're wearing multiple hats. We are fiduciaries, which means we have to do what's in your best interest. My mom raised me right, so we would do it anyway. But my license says we have to do what's in your best interest. So we're going to go through your investments. We're going to look at how are they performing. We run nitrogen reports that will analyze your investments. We're going to look at your fees. I just saved a guy the other day 2% a year in fees on this one particular account that he didn't even know he was paying.
Wow.
So we look at your risk safe allocation percentages. We look at fees. We're looking at a whole multiple of things. We look at your income planning. We look at your tax planning. We can do all of this under one roof. It's a complimentary consultation. If you're all set, which I doubt you are, but if you are, we will tell you. And if you're not all set, we will tell you this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Here's how you fix those things. And then we give it right back to you and do whatever you want. We're here to help you if you need help, or if you want to go do it on your own, you can go do it on your own. But I will forewarn you, doing it on your own can be tricky, because it's a lot of work managing your investment portfolio and income and taxes and retirement. And the other problem you have is you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that is it in a nutshell. The idea of trusting yourself to do investments, you weren't trained. You weren't brought up. You don't know the language. You don't know how to do it.
Right.
And it's okay to say, I don't know how to do it, just like I can't do my taxes anymore.
Well, and things are constantly changing. The RMD, so when you turn it used to be 70 and a half, Dan. When you had an IRA, the IRS lets you invest that money, grow it tax deferred, but at 70 and a half, they come knocking on the door. Now it's 72, or was 72. Now it's 73 years of age. Right.
Yeah.
And it's going up to 75 in 2030. Right. And so, there's all those factors in place too. So ladies and gentlemen, there's so much going on. We highly encourage that you give us a call. Our phone number is 702-897-9997, 702-897-9997. Give us a call. We can set up a complimentary consultation. We have 3 convenient offices to meet with you. We have a Henderson office at St. Rose and Eastern, right behind the Carrabba's Italian restaurant. We have another office in Summerlin, just adjacent from Sun City, Summerlin. And then we have another convenient office in Mesquite, Nevada.
Got it covered. One more time, the phone number to get a hold of you in your office is
702-897-9997, 702-897-9997.
And I'm saying that if you really want to do life in retirement, this is the man to speak to. Todd, thank you so much. We got it more than covered, and we'll have you back and we'll go from there.
Awesome, Dan. Thank you. Look forward to seeing every one of you.
See you later.